Sarah Stern, a bright and artistic 19-year-old, vanished one December night, leaving behind an abandoned car on a bridge and a trail of unanswered questions. As investigators unraveled the mystery, they uncovered a chilling tale of greed, betrayal, and a shocking confession that would change everything. This is the story of Sarah Stern, a case that proves the darkest secrets often hide in plain sight. Welcome back to Chilling Fireside Stories, where I tell true crime stories with the utmost care and respect for the victims and bearable for my community. If you haven't already, please subscribe. It truly helps me continue bringing these important stories to you. These cases deserve to be remembered. Now, settle in and let's begin. In early December 3rd, 2016, a chilling discovery set off alarm bells in Neptune City, New Jersey. At precisely 2:46 a.m., a 911 call came in reporting an abandoned car on the Route 35 bridge, which stretched over Shark River between Neptune and Belmar.
911, where is the emergency?
Okay, not emergency. Actually on the Belmar Bridge, right after heading south in the middle of the bridge, there's a car that's abandoned.
So what kind of car is it?
Kind of looks like an old beat-up, light tan-colored, sedan.
And what was your name, sir?
So if it's okay, I'd just rather be anonymous.
This picturesque spot was not the kind of place one would typically leave a vehicle without reason, and the car's ominous presence raised immediate concerns. Neptune Township Police quickly dispatched officers to investigate. When they arrived, they found a 1994 Oldsmobile 88, its keys still in the ignition and the doors unlocked, but no one in or around the car. Running the license plate revealed the vehicle was registered to Lillian Stern, but it was often driven by her granddaughter, 19-year-old Sarah Stern. In such a tight-knit community, some officers were already familiar with the Stern family, making the situation feel all the more personal. The car's location, perched on the bridge, overlooking the freezing and fast-moving waters of Shark River, sparked a grim suspicion. Had the driver jumped? Dive teams began scouring the river, but the darkness hampered their efforts. They would have to wait until sunrise to continue their search, knowing that the frigid currents could have already carried anything or anyone swiftly toward the Atlantic Ocean. At the time, Sarah's father, Michael Stern, was vacationing in Florida. He had been frantically trying to reach his daughter after receiving no response to his texts the night before. When Michael learned of his daughter's disappearance, he began the grueling 17-hour drive back to New Jersey, urging law enforcement to reach out to Sarah's best friend, Liam McAtasney, and his roommate Preston Taylor, in the hopes that Sarah might have been staying with them. In the early hours of the investigation, around 4 a.m., police reached out to Liam, who had known Sarah since they were 6 years old and attended Sunday school together, who had been a fixture in her life. Naturally, investigators hoped he could provide insights into Sarah's state of mind leading up to her disappearance.
What was her mindset last time you talked to her?
I just know she's been trying to get away. You can tell me she's going to Canada.
Trying to get away, okay. Canada, she's been real depressed lately?
Her dad is crazy.
He explained that he had seen her earlier that day to help remove some things, but they hadn't spoken since. Liam told the officers that he had lost his phone, making it difficult to reach anyone. He described his afternoon with Sarah. They had driven around, eaten at Taco Bell around 2:30 p.m., and then parted ways at 4:30 p.m. when he left for work. He admitted there were 3 crates of Sarah's mother's belongings in his apartment, items he had helped her transport that day. The investigation into Sarah Stern's disappearance deepened when Neptune Township Police made their way to Sarah's home just before 3:30 on December 3rd, 2016. Officers hoped the house might offer clues to her whereabouts. When they arrived, they found the lights on and the back door unlocked. The quiet eeriness of the scene was unsettling, and the house was completely empty. Since her father, Michael Stern, left for Florida, it was just Sarah and her beloved dog Buddy in the house at the time. But what the officers discovered was alarming. Buddy, the light of Sarah's life, was locked in his cage, something highly unusual. Sarah was known to let Buddy roam freely, and she rarely went anywhere without him. This unsettling detail hinted that someone else might have been involved. The search for Sarah Stern intensified as investigators worked tirelessly to uncover any clues that could explain her disappearance. They focused heavily on the Shark River Marina area in Belmar, Avon, and surrounding neighborhoods, including Shark River Hills, Neptune City, and even parts of Wall Township. Her father, Michael Stern, was devastated and desperate for answers.
We're trying to solve this by having the search. We just want to see if something happened over by that river, and we want to be able to get Sarah back. Coming out of the Shark River Marina area in Belmar and Avon, Shark River Hills and Neptune City, that area, and I think part of Wall Township too. So it encompasses a big area. It's a big stretch of water, and we're just trying to get as many people out there as possible to just see if we can uncover anything. Everybody that talked to her in the days leading up to that, she seemed just fine. So, and you know, it's a mystery. It's not a feeling any parent or anyone should have with anybody that's close to them or any loved one. Where are you, Sarah? Give us a call. Come on home. Buddy's waiting for you. Buddy's her dog. She loves a dog, and I just don't understand why we haven't heard from her.
By the afternoon of same day, December 3rd, detectives decided to revisit Liam McCatasney, still the last known person to see Sarah. He recounted the same story.
What's going on? Just give me what's going on with her. Like, how's she been acting lately? The same? Different?
No.
Liam, you've known her since first grade, you said.
Yeah.
Has she been different than normal lately?
Well,
and for how long?
In the past, she has had a tendency to have self-destructive, suicidal behavior. I actually know that.
How long ago?
Years ago.
And what was it that she would be self-destructive and suicidal? Sorry.
It was over.
Stepping on you.
Over something her dad did. I'm not too sure because it was. I think it was my freshman year, sophomore year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my second year of college right now.
4 or 5 years ago.
But I remember being with my girlfriend. She was completely obsessed with my girlfriend. And something happened with her dad. My girlfriend had to leave to go take care of her because she was saying, "You don't come here right now, I'm going to kill myself."
So she's made comments like that in the past?
Yeah. Over the past few months, she's been telling me, how bad her relationship with her father is and how she just needs to get out of here.
Why was it bad? What made it bad?
Fighting.
Dude, if you know anything about where this girl is or had any contact with her, you need to let us know.
Believe me.
And exactly what it was that you had spoken to her about yesterday afternoon before you went your way and she went her way. You need to open up and let this detective know everything. Yeah. And again, Liam, we've said it a couple times. I'm going to throw it at you one more time, dude. We just want to make sure she's okay. Nobody's going to get in any trouble here. We just got to make sure that Sarah's all right.
Liam's cooperation was appreciated by detectives, and he agreed to sit down for a recorded interview. In his interview, Liam insisted that as one of Sarah's closest friends, he had no idea why she wouldn't tell him anything before leaving.
Called her initially, asked her if she wanted to get some food, sometime between 1 and 2 o'clock.
Between 1 and 2?
I went over. We initially wrapped up all of her stuff, put it in the containers. We ate the Taco Bell in her kitchen.
We both were playing video games?
Yeah.
That's all you did up there in her bedroom? You stayed up there the whole time?
I think we might have been in the living room. I don't know. We weren't in her room when I left.
What kind of things were you talking about?
He maintained that their last interaction had been normal, just a casual goodbye as he left for work, with no indication that something was amiss. Despite his cooperation, his repeated claim of not knowing where his own phone was raised suspicion. Liam couldn't explain where it had gone, admitting that he had likely misplaced it. During the interview, Liam also suggested Sarah had suicidal thoughts and described her relationship with her father as hostile.
You were talking about liking guys or...
Not that I know of.
Girls?
No. She has been known to obsess over girls in the past, though. One of my ex-girlfriends, a few years ago, she was completely obsessed with her right around the time her mom had cancer and was dying. And she just would always say stuff like, "Maggie, if you don't come here right now, I'm going to kill myself." Or there have been multiple occasions where my ex-girlfriend Maggie has had to go to the Draper's house to help her with either her dad. I can't say for sure if her dad was going to do something, but there has been a few occasions where she said, my dad's going to hurt me or I'm going to hurt myself. I guess she needs to get away, go to Canada, get away from her dad.
Is she in Canada?
I couldn't tell you.
He even accused Michael Stern of taking money from Sarah's inheritance, further emphasizing the alleged strain between father and daughter. For investigators, Liam's remarks added more uncertainty to the mystery, raising the question of whether Sarah's disappearance was voluntary or something far more sinister.
I know that there's a lot of fighting all the time. When her mom died, she had money that was supposed to go to her, and her dad took that from her. Over the past few weeks, she's been just packaging things up in containers and moving them to other people's houses. I actually have some containers in my basement right now.
He then explained how that afternoon, Sarah went to the bank to withdraw money she believed her late mother had left for her as part of an inheritance.
You stayed in the car?
Yeah.
What did she tell you she was stopping at the bank for?
Something to do with her money. I don't know. She had found money in Avalon House a few months ago, and she has a lockbox full of money in there. She said that it must have belonged to her mother. What she thought was her mom left it for her, hid it in the house, so if her dad were to take her money, she would still have money left for her by her mom. That's
how much money?
She said it could be from 20 grand to 100 grand. She wasn't sure.
Did she give you any of the money?
No.
Detectives were growing increasingly uneasy as Liam McAtasney continued to share information during his interview. While he maintained that he'd done everything possible to help, one strange comment drastically shifted the tone of the conversation.
If she did jump off the bridge, what are the odds that she's not somewhere all the way out in the ocean by now?
It was an odd statement, as Sarah had not expressed any intent to jump, and Liam himself hadn't mentioned anything of the sort earlier. When pressed further, Liam quickly denied knowing about any such plan, emphasizing that if he'd known, he wouldn't have gone to work or had what he described as one of the best nights of his life, earning good tips and enjoying his shift.
Give you the opportunity, okay?
Yeah.
To be ahead of all of this.
Mm-hmm.
If she provided you with information, if she told you something, if she told you that she was going somewhere, if she told you that she was going to do something, you need to tell us.
Before detectives could delve further, Liam's parents contacted a lawyer on his behalf, advising him to end the interview. As investigators pieced together a timeline, more discrepancies surfaced. While Liam claimed he was working until midnight the night Sarah disappeared, records showed he clocked out at 10 p.m., leaving a critical 2-hour gap unaccounted for. Meanwhile, Sarah's car was caught on a neighbor's camera leaving her driveway at 11:45 p.m., but it was impossible to determine who was behind the wheel. Detectives also interviewed Preston Taylor, Liam's roommate and a close friend of Sarah's. Preston corroborated Liam's timeline and insisted their accounts matched. However, when asked what he thought had happened to Sarah, Preston tearfully suggested she might have jumped off the bridge, citing potential arguments with her father, lingering grief, and other personal struggles as possible causes. Despite his claims, Preston seemed hesitant and vague, unable to recall specific details of conversations he had with Liam or Sarah that day. As detectives wrapped up their conversation with Preston, their suspicions only deepened. Both Liam and Preston seemed to know more than they were letting on. The idea of Sarah jumping off the bridge didn't align with her circumstances. She had taken nothing with her, including the inheritance money she had withdrawn. And if she truly intended to leave for Canada, why would she do so in secret, leaving her beloved dog Buddy behind? To investigators, these inconsistencies painted a murky picture of deception. Nearly a week after Sarah's disappearance, her family and friends organized a massive search party, determined to find any trace of her. Nearly 200 volunteers, including Liam, his twin brothers Seamus and Preston, braved freezing temperatures to scour the area. They searched tirelessly for up to 12 hours each day, covering the banks of the Shark River and surrounding areas. Despite their efforts, the search yielded no results, leaving everyone involved with a growing sense of despair. Time was slipping away, but in January 2017, the investigation into Sarah Stern's disappearance finally took a pivotal turn. Anthony Curry, a former high school classmate of Sarah, Liam McAtasney, and Preston Taylor, came forward with information that would change everything. Anthony, an aspiring filmmaker, often discussed movie ideas with Liam, who was a horror enthusiast. Just days before Sarah was reported missing, Liam had shared a chilling plot idea with Anthony, one that now seemed far too real to ignore.
Movies, I'm a filmmaker. He used to tell me all ideas all the time about, films I should make and all that stuff, and he told me about this idea he had to kill this girl.
At the time, Anthony dismissed it as one of Liam's eccentric ideas, but in hindsight, the details felt disturbingly familiar. What raised Anthony's suspicions further was Liam's behavior after Sarah's disappearance. Liam reached out to Anthony daily via Snapchat, asking to meet in person and inquiring whether the police had spoken to him or mentioned his name. The use of Snapchat, which automatically deletes messages after they're viewed, struck Anthony as calculated. Fortunately, Anthony had taken screenshots of some of Liam's messages, including one referencing old, low-quality money, details that matched Sarah's inheritance. Realizing the significance of this information, Anthony approached the police. Detectives asked him to help gather more evidence by meeting with Liam and encouraging him to talk. Anthony agreed, and on January 31, 2017, he arranged to pick Liam up for a drive. Equipped with a hidden microphone and camera provided by the police, Anthony prepared for what would become a shocking confession. When Liam got into the car, his paranoia was evident. He asked Anthony to check him for a wire, which Anthony allowed, and then began speaking candidly.
I gotta feel you up real quick, alright? No disrespect. I'll show you. No disrespect, okay? Nothing. Yeah, I got the FBI on my ass, dude. I had planned Sarah's situation for me to be interrogated by cops. That was whole part of my plan, to make me look not guilty. And the worst part is, we threw her off the bridge, and the body never showed up. It's probably frozen. It's probably all the way out in the ocean. We went to the bank. She took some money out, not all of her money. We're counting it out, and then she goes to walk out the front door. I choke her out, drag her. My biggest problem was the dog, and her dog laid there and watched as I killed her. Didn't do anything. I pretty much hung her, and it took me a half an hour to kill her. Set a timer, and it took me like a half an hour after I hit start on the timer. I choke her out, drag her into the back, put her in a bathroom, and then I had to go straight to work. So Preston came over, took the body, put it in the bushes, and then I was at work. I left work a couple times, which looks sketchy. To look for my phone, though, which is a reasonable thing to do. Yeah, you gotta look for your phone. Yeah, you can't. Which is kind of me losing my phone was kind of a good thing, because the cops are like, oh, he's hanging out with her. He lost his phone. He's going back and forth between his house looking for it. And then I get off work that night, go straight over, then we take her body out of the bushes and drag it over to her back fence, and I crawl, get into her car, and I back up. There's a security camera across the street, so I had to act. I got up on top of the bridge to throw her off. My plan was I was going to throw her off, run over, jump over the divider, and get into Preston's car. And then cars start coming up. I see headlights coming. I try to get her over, and I can't. The weight from her body made me fall, and my leg went up. So now I'm limping, my leg's fucked up, and there's 3 cars coming up. So I grab her body. Dude, I had superhuman strength, and I threw it in the car. and I fucking picked it up, and her feet were up here, and her head was down there, and 3 cars go by, and then Preston comes over the bridge, goes around, makes a U-turn, comes up behind me. The 2 of us throw the body over, and then we're out.
Oh, so you needed help?
I needed help, yeah.
He described how he had planned every detail, including enlisting his roommate, Preston Taylor, to help dispose of Sarah's body in exchange for a $3,000 cut of the stolen money. Throughout his confession, Liam displayed a shocking lack of remorse, even expressing frustration that the stolen money was far less than he had anticipated. He complained about the poor condition of the bills and lamented that his efforts hadn't yielded the financial reward he had hoped for. His cold arrogance and fixation on money left Anthony stunned, but Anthony remained composed, knowing his role in gathering evidence was crucial.
That's not even the worst part. The worst part of it is I thought I was walking out 50 grand, 100 grand in my pocket. She had one safe, and she took money out, and she only had 10 grand. And this money, I don't know if it was burnt or something. It's fucking old money, terrible quality. I don't even know if I can put any of it in the fucking bank.
Right, because it'll probably look sketchy, right?
Looks sketchy, and it'll look like it's Sarah's money, especially if it's a federal investigation.
Right.
On February 1st, 2017, Liam and his accomplice, Preston Taylor, were arrested in connection with Sarah Stern's death. Their arrest sent shockwaves through the community. Friends and classmates struggled to reconcile the image of Liam, Preston, and Sarah as an inseparable trio with the horrifying reality that 2 of them had conspired to kill the third. If you had a model of a best friend group, it was them, one classmate said, summing up the disbelief felt by many. While Liam stayed silent after his arrest, Preston began to talk. He admitted everything, providing investigators with a detailed account of the crime. Preston revealed that Liam had manipulated Sarah's dream of moving to Canada, persuading her to withdraw $7,000 from her safety deposit box under the guise of preparing for the move. Afterward, the pair returned to her house, where Liam murdered Sarah without hesitation. Preston led authorities to 2 safes buried in a park, one containing a portion of Sarah's inheritance, and the other holding some of her personal belongings. When Liam was arrested, he was found with the key to one of the safes in his possession. Preston also described in detail what had occurred at Sarah's house and the Route 35 bridge, where they disposed of her body. He explained how they carried Sarah's body by her legs and torso, hoisted it over the bridge railing, and threw it into the frigid waters below. A loud metallic noise followed, though neither of them knew what had caused it.
And hoisted her up onto the railing, and then I pushed her feet over so that she was going over the rest of the way. As she went over, immediately after her body was up and over the rail, as we were running back to my car, the black Mercury Mystique, we heard a loud metallic bang, and that was all.
Okay. Did you have any conversation with Liam about that noise that you heard?
No.
Despite overwhelming evidence, Liam pleaded not guilty to all charges. Preston, on the other hand, recognized the gravity of the situation and chose to cooperate with prosecutors. In April 2017, Preston pleaded guilty to charges including first-degree robbery, second-degree conspiracy to commit robbery, and second-degree desecration of human remains. As part of his plea deal, he agreed to testify against Liam during his trial. Nearly 2 years after Sarah's disappearance, Liam's trial began. With no body recovered, Monmouth County prosecutors faced a daunting challenge, as such cases are exceptionally rare. Adding to the complexity, Liam's defense team argued that without a body, there was no definitive cause or time of death, making the case unprovable. Liam also claimed that his confession to Anthony had been a fabrication, a badly worded audition for one of Anthony's films, which, he argued, Anthony had twisted to implicate him. Despite these arguments, the court allowed Anthony's recording of Liam's confession to be used as evidence, a significant blow to Liam's defense. Anthony Curry himself took the stand, and what unfolded next would be pivotal in sealing Liam's fate. At Liam McAtasney's trial, Prosecutors presented a damning case against him. While Liam refused to testify in his own defense, the evidence mounted. His taped confession to Anthony Curry was harrowing in its graphic detail, and Preston Taylor's testimony further solidified the prosecution's case. Preston described the calculated discussions he and Liam had leading up to the murder. They decided against using a weapon, as it would leave evidence, and ultimately chose to stage Sarah's death as a suicide by throwing her body off the Route 35 bridge. In a courtroom packed with emotion, the jury delivered its verdict: guilty. Liam was convicted on 7 counts, including first-degree murder, felony murder, and robbery. As the verdict was read aloud, Liam broke into tears. However, prosecutors dismissed his display as insincere, stating he cared for nothing and no one but himself. In stark contrast, Michael Stern, Sarah's father, visited the bridge to mark what would have been her 22nd birthday, bringing balloons and flowers in remembrance of his beloved daughter.
The most important thing is to get justice for Sarah. She was a great kid and never should have ended like this. Thank everybody. Thank you.
Liam was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, while Preston received an 18-year sentence with eligibility for parole in 2032. At his sentencing, Preston expressed regret, saying, "I wish I could take back so many things. I should have done something to stop this, and I wish more than anything I had." The judge firmly stated that Preston was equally culpable, having participated in every aspect of the crime except for the act of strangling Sarah. Both men appealed their sentences, but their attempts were unsuccessful. For Sarah's devastated family and friends, the betrayal felt unfathomable. Liam and Preston, 2 people Sarah had trusted implicitly, had turned on her over a sum of money. Megan, Liam's mother, insisted she couldn't believe her son was involved, saying he loved and adored Sarah. Yet the evidence painted a clear picture of calculated greed and callousness. Without Anthony Curry's brave decision to record Liam's confession, the truth might never have emerged. Police recognized that without this key evidence, a conviction would have been unlikely. Anthony himself reflected on the toll of learning what his friend had done. "Back then, he was one of my best friends. He'd give you the shirt off his back. Now he's dead to me, a killer. It's heartbreaking to think someone you trust could do something like this." Despite extensive searches, Sarah's remains were never recovered. Experts believe her body was swept out to sea within an hour, carried miles into the Atlantic Ocean. Her community honors her memory through a scholarship program for art students, charity football games, and other initiatives. Today, Sarah is remembered for her kindness, creativity, and spirit. Her story serves as a tragic reminder that danger can come from those closest to us. Thank you for watching this episode of Chilling Fireside Stories. If Sarah's story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe. Let's continue honoring victims by sharing their stories and keeping their memories alive. Stay safe and look after your loved ones, and I'll see you in the next one.